So there is really only one story to talk about today, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm sure most of you already have seen others speak about this bit of breaking news, and that is the only downside to living in a different part of the world more often than not. You're a day or so late to these stories. However, let's just recap a little bit for this video. On March 27th, there was a horrific school shooting in Nashville. A 28-year-old woman, Audrey Hale, who was also identifying as a guy and used the name Aiden, decided to walk into a Covenant school and kill 6 innocent people, 3 kids and 3 adults. The adults were staff members. She was later shot on sight by police. And ever since this heartbreaking situation, people have wanted to know the motives behind the attack. What motivated this woman to walk into this school and take 6 innocent lives? There was a manifesto left, and people have been asking to see it. And let's be honest, right, straight off the bat, if this manifesto fit the narrative, we would have seen it by now. If it played into the mainstream media's hands, we would not be sat here, people would not be sat there talking about this manifesto in the way they are. But here we are. As of yesterday, of making this video on Monday, Steven Crowder leaked the alleged manifesto. There were 3 pages of it. His investigation team managed to get a hold of it, and it's just as bad as we assumed, and it is a real narrative breaker. The Daily Mail go on to report. Nashville school shooter Audrey Hale's manifesto leaked. Trans murderer vowed to kill privileged white kids at Covenant School. A manifesto believed to have been written by trans Nashville Catholic school shooter Audrey Hale. Now I believe it was a Christian school, so the Daily Mail might want to change that one, but it has become public nonetheless and revealed her intention to kill white privileged kids before being shot dead by police. The manifesto has been shrouded in secrecy since the shooting on March 27th this year. Nashville PD is yet to release it despite multiple media requests, and the issue is now subject of a lawsuit. On Monday, controversial podcast host Steven Crowder published photographs of 3 pages of it, which he says his reporters obtained from a detective at the scene. Police sources told Fox 17 that the documents were authentic, and Freddie O'Connell, the new mayor of Nashville, said he is concerned and asked the city's top attorney to launch an investigation into the leaked photos. Hale's parents said they had not seen them before and did not know if they were real. They purport to show Hale's plan for the day that began with breakfast at home, including lunch, and a 10-minute final video which has not yet been made public. Hale was concerned about how long the rampage would last, but wanted to annihilate what she described as crackers and before being killed herself. She was furious about what she believed were white privileged kids at fancy private schools despite previously attending the same school herself. So already just based off of that part, you can see why they tried to cover up the manifesto. You know, it doesn't fit the narrative, the purposely created narrative. Audrey Hale wasn't mentally stable. We can all see that, you know, but what do we do in this world? We reaffirm mental illness, don't we? We tell people they are who they say they are, and their feelings matter more than anything or anybody else. And when the mainstream media, social media, the education system constantly indoctrinates people with things like critical race theory and DEI, and they constantly tell everybody it's okay to discriminate against white people in any way, shape or form, because anything to do with white people is apparently bad, right, for XYZ, and you tie that evil agenda, because it is an evil agenda and it makes people hate themselves and people around them, you tie that agenda in with mentally unstable people. This is a direct consequence. Again, you know, if this was the other way round and it wasn't white people involved and it was people from diverse backgrounds, how would things look? How would the mainstream media have covered it? It would have looked a lot different. Fox 17 also claimed, as you saw in the article, that these parts of the manifesto are authentic. The Nashville mayor is now concerned. He's panicking. They're all panicking. They didn't want this getting out. And what did they do at the time when this shooting happened? A couple of days afterwards, they tried to use it for more gun control. They tried to flip it as hard as they could. Firearms advocates and police unions wanted Hale's manifesto released, but the school and parents of the victims argued the writing should not be released to avoid potential copycats and to allow for closure. David Rabin, who is representing Hale's parents, said they have not seen the documents before. He added that it would be inappropriate to comment on the photos given the pending lawsuit. Metro Nashville Police Department said they have launched an inquiry. The MNPD is in communication with the Metropolitan Department of Law as an investigation began this morning, continues into the dissemination of 3 photographs photographs of writings during an online discussion about COVID at school. The photographs are not MNPD crime scene images. The police department has been in contact with a representative of Covenant families. Police department counselors are available to assist them in coping with the emotional trauma caused by the dissemination. In an entry on the day of the attack titled Death Day, Hale wrote, "Today is the day. The day has finally come. I can't believe it's here. Don't know how I was able to get this far, but here I am. I'm a little nervous but excited too, been excited for the past 2 weeks." She said there were several times she could have been caught. None of that matters now. I'm almost an hour and 7 minutes away. Can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm ready. I hope my victims aren't. My only fear is if anything goes wrong, I'll do my best to prevent any of the sort. God let my wrath take over my anxiety. It might be 10 minutes tops. It might be 3 to 7. It's gonna go quick. I hope I have a high death count, ready to die. In another entry on February 3rd, 6 weeks before the shooting, she wrote, "Kill those kids. Those crackers going to private fancy schools with those fancy khakis and sports backpacks, with their money daddy's Mustangs and convertibles. You little I wish to shoot you weak ass with your mop yellow hair. Want to kill you all you little crackers, bunch of with your white privileges. You, you've." Hale planned out the massacre by the minute, aiming to wake up at 6:30 a.m, get dressed at 7:05 and spend time with their stuffed animals and possessions between 7:05 and 8:55 a.m. In reality, she went to the school much earlier than planned. She was shot dead by police at 10:25 a.m, 14 minutes after entering the school and opening fire. Really horrifying stuff. You know, it's kind of hard to wrap your head around these sort of situations and how people can just act in this way, right? 6 innocent people killed, 3 kids, and this is what they write down, or allegedly write down. I do wish we could go over the actual documents, you know, but I've seen it can affect your channel, your video, or your social media post, or whatever. I've seen Stephen Crowder had his live stream taken down. So again, big tech are not allowing people to report it in a decent way. They're trying to suppress the story. And I wouldn't be surprised if this video gets suppressed. But it just doesn't surprise me. You know, it doesn't surprise me that these people take this route. They don't want people saying what they're not supposed to, because as we saw with the reaction to the shooting at the time, you know, it was crazy. We saw the White House secretary say things like this.
And one of the things that we saw during the midterm elections is that people don't want their freedoms to be taken. They want us to fight for their freedoms. And so it is shameful, it is disturbing, and our hearts go out to the trans community as they are under attack right now.
Yeah, that just tells you all you need to know about these people and why they don't want people talking about this in the ways maybe they should. And here is the mainstream media talking about it in their classic ways. Take a watch.
Breaking news this noon hour. A conservative talk show host claims he's released documents related to the Covenant School shooting here in Nashville. We know Stephen Crowder is the host of Louder with Crowder. He released 3 photos of writings in notebooks. Crowder claims they're actual images of the shooter's writings. Metro Police say they are aware of the photos. They're receiving calls about them. We talked with police. Right now, they are not confirming the legitimacy of those photos. Now, our chief investigative reporter, always glad to have Jeremy Finley on with us. You've actually been reaching out to people throughout the city all morning. So what have you learned? What are you hearing right now?
So what all of us are doing is we're watching our phones, because Metro Police, when they authenticate information, they put it out on Twitter, what used to be known as Twitter.
Right.
And I literally just checked moments ago. There is nothing new about this, because there is so much at stake here, right? We've talked so much about the fact that there have been people that have sued to get these writings, and Metro Police has not released those writings, citing those lawsuits, not wanting to release that. We know that they have said, the Chief Drake himself has said, that so much of it doesn't make any sense. And so we have to be absolutely careful with what we are reporting is absolutely authentic. But we do know that a short while ago, I was able to reach out to the attorney who was representing the family of the parents of the school shooter. He writes, "I represent Mr. Ron and Mrs. Norma Hale. We have never seen the manifesto at any time. We're not in a position to authenticate these pieces of paper. We have absolutely not released anything, but we certainly did not release this. It's inappropriate for me to make any further comment about it. So we have been reaching out to all of our sources throughout law enforcement. I've reached out to the mayor's office. The mayor's office punted to the police department. So at this point, you know, there's so much at stake here. If police comes out and they do confirm this, then they are essentially releasing this information that is in this manifesto. But we are not reporting that information yet because it isn't authenticated.
Exactly.
So we've got a lot more confirmation that we need to do.
And of course, we've been hearing from the victims' parents saying they absolutely do not want this to be released.
That's right.
Seems like people are panicking, right? And speaking of Steven Crowder, it wouldn't surprise me if in the next couple of days, couple of weeks, we see hit pieces everywhere, because that's just how the mainstream media works. You know, you speak out against things you shouldn't, and they'll come after you. They'll try and flip the narrative as best as they can. And just this tiny bit of the manifesto, we've got this alleged manifesto, it just shows you these agendas people are being told, you know, they're being indoctrinated with, brainwashed with, have horrible direct consequences. And the worst thing is, I genuinely think the people who create these narratives, because in my opinion, again, they are purposely created, they know this. But leave your thoughts down below, ladies and gentlemen, on this whole story, on the alleged manifesto. I would like to know your thoughts. If you have enjoyed today, then please, for me also, make sure to leave a like rating. If you're new, hit that subscribe button and turn on bell notifications so you never miss a video. Share this video. But until next time, it has been your boy JD. Have a great day, stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.